butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
A butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
Morning, everybody. EchoPixel, thank you for the raid. What's going on? Welcome, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I appreciate. Were you waiting just for me to do that? Thank you, thank you. Outcast, thank you for being first. Magic Joe, thank you for actually being first. Juice, good to see you. How you doing? It's the Bug Man, the latest superhero. Which bug powers? Like all of them? That dang time bewitch. That's why I'm late. I got hit with the time bewitching incense. Couldn't move. Time was at a standstill. Meg, what's up? How are you? Go raid, maybe. Gonna grab a snack. I'm so sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. We're talking about Vampire Hunter D and 4 volumes of the manga monster. 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you sleep in? No, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. That's not, I don't even have that as an excuse. I had plenty of time. Ren, what's up? How are you? I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I did wait until like 20 minutes before. I was like, oh, I haven't eaten. Let me make some noodles. They were cold noodles. I specifically chose cold noodles because they prepare and get consumed faster because there's no waiting for anything, you know? And I was like, oh man, I gotta be live in 3 minutes and I'm still chewing broccolis. I don't know. There's just no saving me. Did you sleep in? Happy first day of vacation, right? Is that right? Should we start with D? Vampire Hunter. D, a Vampire Hunter. The D is for. Did y'all read to the big revelation? You know what that D stands for? You know what that D stands for? It's the same as this game. It's the same D. Nope, and I forgot you're 12 hours ahead. My vacation starts after tonight. Oopsies. Oh, are you going to work? In 45 minutes? Okay, we'll be quick. What do you want to talk about first? I guess we're here at Vampire Hunter D. Let's get going then. I'm so sorry I'm late. Okay, let's go. Just a brief overview of what we read for those who need a refresher or who are here anyway but did not read it. Hey, Teddy, what's up? You read this recently, I think? Well, 2 years ago? Hell yeah. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Vampire Hunter D is a novel written by Japanese author Hideyuki Kikuchi. It was published in Japan in January 1983 by Asahi Sonorama and was first translated into English in 2005 by DH Press. It is the year 12,090 AD. The world has all but ended. This track is always kind of loud. Keep that down. The world has all but ended, ravaged in a firestorm of man's wars and madness. But from the wreckage, a few humans managed to survive. A few humans and something else. Doris Lang knew what her fate would be when the vampire lord Count Magnus Lee bit her. An agonizing transformation into one of the undead, doomed to be stalked by her fellow villagers or cursed to become the bride of the unholy creature and face an eternity of torment, driven by the thirst for human blood. There was but one option left, and as she watched him ride in from the distance, she knew there was hope, salvation, from a vampire hunter named D. Magnus has his own problems. His beautiful daughter Alarmica refuses to let a human into her family. Enlisting the help of Garo, a werewolf retainer, she attempts to kill Doris before the wedding, only to find Dee standing against her. Greco-Roman, son of the chief, wants Doris for himself. The same goes for the skilled fighter Neginse and his fiend corps. Both men are eager to eliminate Dee, as his skills in Doris's favor make them see him as a threat. Doris knows she isn't the only one in trouble. Her younger brother is perceived as her weakness, and more than one person is willing to use him as leverage against her. The novel is adapted into a direct-to-video film, which is the first thing I saw in the franchise, of the same name in 1985, and a manga series, Hideyuki Kikuchi's Vampire Hunter D in 2007. Theron Martin of Anime News Network called the novel a competent vampire hunting story with enough strong points to balance out its weaknesses, and gave it a B rating. He praised the setting as a wholly credible world ruled by vampires and grounded in science fiction, rather than fantasy or the supernatural. However, he called the plotting fairly rudimentary, and a standard tale of a hero and heroine struggling against the colorful opposition coming from different directions, where even the few twists are hardly unique. While Martin praised the characters of Doris and Neginse, he criticized Dee and Count Magnus Lee as having weak characterizations. How did you all feel? I love the craziness of the world. I do too. Doris is the girl with the most cake. This is true. Silent Chef, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome in. You ever read Vampire Hunter D? Hello. Cyborg horses? Oh man. Cyborg horses. Badass. Fucking blade projectile that cuts all 4 legs off the horse while it's in like mid-stride. Heartbreaking. Gruesome. That was a crucial scene. Anywhere y'all want to start? I got some notes. Behold my Shrikes. He was cool. He was a cool character. Oh, I mean awful, but this was adapted into film. I've only seen it once, but I've seen the film. Oh yeah? I'm much more familiar with the 2003 film Bloodlust, which I believe is an adaptation of novel 3, Demon Death Chase. Is that right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen both. I feel like I remember the original a little better. I think because I rewatched it later. Whoops. That's not right. Okay. To your point about the craziness of the world, I think I have some notes, and feel free to just talk about any pages you want to talk about. Yeah, this is like the encapsulation of the lore, and it's fucking nuts. I love it. So I'm gonna read through that. Thank you so much for the bits. Juice, thank you so much. I think that actually, I didn't, made you chuckle? I don't remember enough to be useful, but I read the first 4 or 5 novels now. Yeah? Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited to hear any thoughts you have. I want to keep going. I really liked it. My only experience with this material was the film, which a friend burned a copy from Kazaa. Oh, hell yeah. The ultimate way to watch it. I think I haven't made the charity go live, because it'll get, if anyone donates early, which would be I would be very thankful for that, but it'll get hard to keep track, because I want to start at 0 at the Donathon, but those will go to the charity. because I think my payout is the 24th. I gotta check. But anyway, thank you so much for those. They're going to a good place. Appreciate the bits. Something I've always wondered, do we see how D and Left Hand meet? Or have they always been together and their history is implied? Yeah, I'm very curious to see more elaboration upon that. We don't really get much backstory, or like, it's kind of kept, it's an eventual reveal in this novel. Like, you get like, the references like, and D rode off and there was like a murmuring, or he was in conversation but no one else was around. That kind of stuff. And then finally, it's like revealed what is going on. So yeah, I think probably in a subsequent novel, they get more into the details about what happened there. Really enjoyed it too. It's one of those things that is deep and meaningful, but it's also just fun. Yeah. I'll make the ultimate PS3 or die trying. Oh, what are you doing? Good luck. Then I wondered maybe it's foreshadowing they all become vampire hunters. Oh wait, it bothers me Doris, Dan, and D all start with D. I honestly didn't even notice that. How did that escape my attention? Doris, Dan, D. Vampire Hunter, it should be Vampire Hunter triple D. Yeah. So many Ds. Are there any others? Exactly. From what I've seen, a lot of the storytelling is unsaid. This is true. They hint at things, but never seem to give you any answers directly. It's a good point. Yeah. Also is D. Dalucard. What is it? What do they call him? They have a term, like the original ancestor. The great one. I don't remember. It's like something obvious, but I just can't. Thank you. Sacred ancestor. The year is AD 12,090. Like, this is the most unhinged, awesome fucking lore. I love it. I just gotta read it. The human race dwells in a world of darkness. Or perhaps it might be more accurate to call it a dark age propped up by science. All 7 continents are crisscrossed by a web of super-speed highways. And at the center of the system sits a fully automated cyber city known as the Capital, the product of cutting-edge scientific technology. The dozen weather controllers manipulate the climate freely. Interstellar travel is no longer a far-fetched dream. In vast spaceports, hulking matter conversion rockets and ships propelled by galactic energy stare up at the Empyrean Vault, and exploration parties have actually left their footprints on a number of planets outside our solar system, Altair and Spica, just to name a few. However, all of that is a dream now. Take a peek at the Grand Capital. A fine dust coats the walls of buildings and minarets constructed from translucent metal crystal. In places you'll find recent craters large and small from explosives and ultra-heat rays. The majority of automated roads and maglev highways are in shambles, and not a single car remains to zip from place to place like a shooting star. One moment, please. I think I still have broccoli in my teeth. Okay. There are people, tremendous mobs of them, flooding down the streets in endless numbers, laughing, shouting, weeping, paying their respects to the capital. The melting pot of existence, with a vitality that borders on complete chaos. But their garb isn't what you'd expect for the masters of a once proud metropolis. Men don shabby trousers and tunics redolent of the distant Middle Ages, and threadbare cassocks like a member of a religious order might wear. Women dress in dim shades and wear fabric rough to the touch, completely devoid of flamboyance. Through the milling crowd of men armed with long swords or bows and arrows comes a gasoline-powered car, most likely taken from some museum. Trailing black smoke and popping with the firecrackers of backfires, the vehicle carries along a group of laser gun-toting lawmen. A dreadful scream rises from one of the buildings, and a woman staggers out. From her inhuman cry, people instinctively know the cause of her terror, and call out for the sheriff and his men. Before long, they race to the scene, ask the wailing woman where the terror is located, and enter the building in question with faces paler than the bloodless countenance of the witness herself. They ride an independently powered elevator down 500 stories in one of the subterranean passageways, all of which had supposedly been destroyed ages ago. There's a concealed door, and beyond it a vast graveyard where the nobility, blood-craving creatures of the night, slumber as in days gone by in wooden coffins filled with damp soil. The sheriff and his men soon go into action. Fortunately, it seems there are no curses or vicious beasts here. no defense system of lasers or electronic cannons. These nobles were probably resigned to their fate. The lawmen hold rough wooden stakes and gleaming metal hammers in their hands. Their expressions are a pallid blend of fear and sinfulness. The mob of black silhouettes encircles a coffin. Someone's arm rises towards the heavens, and the knife's back down. There's a dull thud. A horrifying scream and the stench of blood fill the graveyard. The anguished cry grows thinner and dies out, and the group moves on to the next coffin. When the lawmen leave the graveyard not long after that, their faces are adorned with crimson beads of blood and a shade of sinfulness much deeper than the one they wore before this mission. Though the nobility was nearly extinct, the feelings of pride brought on by the awe humanity held towards them had seeped into their very blood over the course of the 10 long millennia and would not be shaken off so easily. Because they had indeed reigned supreme over the human race, and because the automated city, now populated by people who couldn't fathom its machinery or receive the tiniest fraction of the benefits it might provide, and everything else in the world that could be called civilization was something they'd left behind. They, the vampires. Gonna be really disappointed if Guy Fieri doesn't show up in the next volumes. As what? Wells, what's going on? Good to see you. How you been? I'm usually a pallid blend of fear and other things. Yeah, that's about right. That checks out for me too. I fucking loved that. It's like, you got like Western vibes, you know, just like the gun-toting lawman just like in this like just smog belching car rolling through town, woman screaming out for the sheriff, you know, kind of like a frontier vibe. And then it's also got like Mad Max, like dystopian post-apocalyptic themes to it. The setup is just fucking crazy. I love just how outlandish, like it's 12,000 AD. We're riding 500 stories down into the subterranean depths in an elevator. Big numbers, big fucking... These numbers are not fucking about. It was great. I really like the lore of why there are other kinds of monsters that exist in the world besides vampires. That was cool too. Yeah. I like the idea of like reverse engineering like humanity's folklore and like deep-seated like generational historical fears and like creating them, you know? Like realizing the inherent power of these stories, you know? And like once civilization has like defrontiered, well, the frontier is like kind of crept back in, right? With like just the collapse of society at large. But yeah, like I would have bought it if it was just like, I don't know, like it was just mystical, supernatural. But like having a scientific reason to like undergird it all was very interesting. And because it's like kind of silly, kind of pulpy, like I mean, for me, like I just went with it. I was cool with it. What else has been good? Trails, Tellier, Arc Knights, FF as usual. Hell yeah. Glad to hear it. What's how's university going? I feel like it's been a while since I've heard from you. How are the studies? I take it you're on break now. Great mix of Western sci-fi and horror. Yeah, it was good. I mean, like D is like the perfect like very cliched or like tropey like Western archetype, right? Stoic, soft-spoken, man of few words. Rides into town, is very adept, but isn't showy about it. And kind of like just, you know, with Doris, we have that situation where like she's throwing herself at him, and he's just disinterested, or at least like whether or not he's interested. On some level, he is, right? Like he's kind of fighting back the temptation to feed upon her because of his vampire part, but he withstands the allure. When it came to this, I expected some sort of medieval fantasy. In chapter 1, into it or whatever, there's already a satellite cannon. It definitely explains the more sci-fi-esque aspects of the Bloodlust movie that almost seemed out of place without context. I want to rewatch the movies now because like I just went with it, but like I never really had a good sense of like why things were the way they were in the movies. Just like, okay, well, yeah, we got sci-fi shit and like mutants and stuff, and like there's technology, but you know, it's like that's a situation. Like I think this book does a very good job. Like it does explicitly just outright tell you the situation, but it also like drip feeds some stuff and leaves some stuff kind of vague. I feel like maybe the movies leave a little too much in that vague space where like you just don't have a good sense of the world. Yeah. Sci-fi and fantasy always go together. They place it so far into the future in a way that lets them style it as the past. Yeah. Book of the New Sun was another one like this, where we're just like, I mean, this one, we still like have access to the technology. Like in that one, it's like, we're so far beyond it that like your protagonist can look at a painting of an astronaut and like only know how to describe it in terms of like some strange medieval armor because we've lost touch with the technology. We no longer understand it. You know, and it might as well be fantastical. Then there's fucking killer clouds. Oh, that was awesome. You want to talk about that? Do you have a page number? I don't know if I have that excerpted. Did they talk about the origin of werewolves and other monsters in the book? Yeah, they did. I wonder if I have that. Do I have that? Let's see. I have the transformation into the werewolf, but I don't know if it talks about... Oh, maybe it is here. Let's see. Reading it, it felt like it was made for anime. I need to rewatch the film now. Yeah, I'm going to rewatch it too. Maybe we should all do a watch party. Should we do that? Never done one. That'd be fun. 100% this. Gotta sign up for my last 2 semesters soon? Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome. Are you doing a summer semester, or are you gonna do it this fall? I had the same thought, literally read, like, it's just written anime. Yeah. They kind of knew what they were going for, because, like, at this point, like, they have Amano doing the covers and the illustrations, and, like, this is what did I say? 1985 or 1983? Like, he was... So he wouldn't have done Final Fantasy yet, right? He was about to do that. But he, at that point, he was doing a lot of, like, what is the Japanese, like, sci-fi fantasy magazine? I'm blanking on the name of it, but he had done, like, a lot of covers for them. And he had been working on, like, Battle of the Planets, and a bunch of, like, he was a very prolific, like, character designer. Like, he was pretty well known. So he had a lot of ties to, like, anime. It's funny in his biography, he talks about, like, how many characters, like, he had to design, like, weekly characters for some of those shows. And he just, like, he would just have no ideas. He'd just be sitting in a room, like, I don't know, what if I put, like, a bra on someone's head and then just, like, made that into a helmet? And that's literally one of the designs, which made a lot of sense when he kind of made that explicit in the biography. Like, oh, yeah, I see that. It's very obvious. That's all you did. As a bra, as a helmet on the top of someone's head. I really like Dee's personality and how he fits into the world. He makes sense for this world, right? Yeah. There's some really cool lines from him. Lexicon, what's going on? It's the book club. The one and only. Except it's not the one and only. EchoPixel does one too. Over there, we're reading Berserk. You should join that one if you're interested. I didn't realize this was live stream. Yeah. We do a discussion last Sunday of every month, Japan time, like Sunday morning, to talk about what we read. Love a stoic and brooding protag. Yeah, it's always very satisfying. Especially like, man, I have it excerpted, I think. There's one line he says that's just so badass. Love the vibes, good music. Hell yeah. Immaculate. You love these streams? I'm glad. I'm glad you come in and make them great. Dee sits in between a real rock and a hard place because both of his heritage and his chosen profession. But before I go further, is Dee's ancestry discussed in the novel? I don't want to accidentally spoil a future reveal, assuming it's common knowledge. It's like the final kind of culminating, like, you know. I mean, we know. But it's not made explicit, but it's like you, as a reader, theoretically, you're learning it as the Count and Larmica do. Like, they have their suspicions for a while, like, I've only seen one other person with this ability, or things like that. So it's kind of like drip fed over the novel, but yeah, it does get into, like, he is the offspring of the sacred ancestor. That D. You know who else started with a D? It was Dracula. And also Doris and Dan. I think it's hinted but not fully revealed. I mean, is it, like, does he full on confirm it? I can't even remember because it's like they talk around it so much. I'm sitting here rotting at home listening to someone read a book. Even when you're not in school, you just get on Twitch and it's like, God damn, more reading, more homework. Can't get away. Chapter 8, page like 193 is the cloud if you want to read it. Okay. Yeah, let's, since I'm here. So the transformation had begun. The molecular arrangement, Jesus, I shouldn't rush through this, of his cells changed, and his nervous system became that of a wild beast, born to race across the ground at great speeds. The forelimbs, clutching at the earth, began to assume a page more befitting a lower animal. Prognathous jaw formed and revealed rows of razor-sharp teeth. I don't know. Why did I have that excerpted? I was looking for, like,
Groovy.
Does it get into it here? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Having Jank fun is not hard when you have a library card. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Does it talk about how they made the monsters in here? It's like they're making some little like brief comments about it, but yeah, I feel like there's a more elaborate, extended look at it. I'll be on the lookout for that. If you track it down, let me know if you have a page number. So you said page 193. I don't have. Let's see. What chapter is this? This is 7. But yeah, it is very late. It like it's after D is okay. Maybe it's around here, right? It's after he's resurrected, because like it's the first thing he does, right? Here it is. Yeah, I think. Howdy, Wordy. What's going on? Good to see you. We're talking about Vampire Hunter D. Ever read it? Not explicitly, only rumors. Larmika asks the answers, but you don't get to know. Oh, that's right. That is the scene, isn't it? It's like, it's very cinematic. It's like his mouth moved, but you couldn't hear what he said over like the places collapsing, and there's like all the dust that's raining down upon them. Yeah. Is this urban futuristic fantasy? I don't think I would call it urban. Western, maybe. Western futuristic fantasy. Still need to read Berserk? Well, if you catch up to... I'm trying to think where Ecopixel is. Like, what is it, like 12 or 13 right now? I don't want to say too much, but the Eclipse... I don't know. Do you know anything about Berserk? It's like right in the middle of that. But if you catch up to that point, he's got a discussion coming up soon. So I don't see more medieval fantasy with lasers. Yeah. Kiseki couple, what's going on? Welcome in. Have you ever read Vampire Hunter D or seen the anime? We're talking about the novel. If you have any thoughts on it. Medieval Western. Vampire Hunter Quadruple D. I don't think they ever actually confirm much. Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things like it's so obvious without actually being like, I guess, confirmed. I know we had highlighted the same passage. The only other one I highlighted was the bit introducing the incense. Thought it was so cool. Oh, okay. Do you have a page number? I can bring that up next. This is the one. Ecopixel, was this it? A host of white, semi-transparent membranes swirled above the house, then started to come together to form a single mass. Once it had drawn itself together, the glowing clouds swooped down toward the farm, oddly shaped organs becoming visible through its partially transparent body. This was another of the artificial monstrosities spawned by the nobility, a night cloud, a life form able to reform itself from single cell organisms. By day, the cloud remained in the freezing extremes of the stratosphere, and at night it came back down to Earth in scattered form to hunt for prey. You know, I almost excerpted this myself, because like when it describes the cow, is that the next paragraph? It's gnarly. Frighteningly enough, these damn things were dangerous carnivores that would form a single mass when they found a victim, enveloping their prey from all sides to digest and absorb it. They posed a major threat to lost children and inexperienced travelers, and along with dimension-ripping beasts, they caused a great many people to go inexplicably missing. The electromagnetic barrier had been a godsend in that it alone kept them from wreaking havoc on Doris's farm. At one point, the cloud came down about 15 feet above Dee's head, but it seemed to catch wind of something and drifted off to one side, toward the barn where the animals were stabled. Only pausing before the doors for a heartbeat, it spread itself as flat as a sheet and easily slipped through a gap between the wall and the doors. The shrill cries of cattle reverberated. The wall shook 2 or 3 times, and all too soon it was silent again. Is it down? Like, maybe it's a few more? It describes, within the semi-translucent cloud mass was a cow, writhing in agony as it dissolved. Its hide split, red meat melted, and the exposed bones slowly wasted away like popping soap bubbles. As flesh and blood mixed in a narrow tube that seemed to be an esophagus of sorts, the liquid swirled around and the cloud began glowing brighter than ever. It was feeding. For a few seconds, the corpulent mass wriggled at the entrance to the barn, and then, perhaps sensing other prey, it began to drag itself toward D. Thanks to the weight of the half-devoured cow, it was moving in slow motion. That is just a fucking gnarly scene. God, like a big anaconda just glutted on cattle. Popping like soap bubbles is such a vivid description. Born of the vampires' desperate research, time-bewitching incense was one means of overcoming their limitations. Wherever its scent hung, the time would become night, or rather appear to be night. In a manner of speaking, normal temporal effects were so altered by this chemical compound, the incense made time itself seem hypnotized. Thanks for putting it in chat. Yeah, the scenes around time-bewitching incense are so cool. It's very dreamy and sometimes I feel like this book in a few places, I think I have a couple excerpts, it starts with a piece of a scene, it'll focus down onto a body part or some collateral damage of a thing and sort of pan over to the main action, but it starts with the piece of the larger whole to just have a very striking first image and leave you in kind of confused wonderment. It's like a severed hand flew across this, whose hand? And then you kind of get the action that propelled the hand across, your field of vision. But it'll start there, and I really like how it does that a few times. Those comments are at least enough to say what I loved. Vampires were the real thing, but everywhere else was genetically engineered biomonsters. Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea, too, of just I don't know if I have this highlighted or not, but why the vampires keep the humans around, And there's I don't know. The relationship between the humans and the nobles is very interesting to me. Almost like an analog to real world, class relations. It's right during when the hand is resting. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Bloodlust names that ancestor and discusses it explicitly, which is part of the interesting thematic core of that story. Dee's father puts him in the shadow of his father's legacy, and from the vampire's view, he is utterly against what he stood for. On the other hand, humanity never fully accepts him because of his vampire side. Yeah, that does come up in this one. In a way, this is the only real path that Dee could take that gives him any real agency, and the fact that he stoically accepts that makes him very endearing. Yeah, I like the way that this book does it, where it gets into a little bit of that, but it does play out like a very traditional Western. It doesn't elaborate too much. It lets Dee remain this sort of Western archetype through most of the novel. You get a little bit of insight into his history and personality, but mostly, he's the stoic, comes in, rides in on the horse, dispatches the villain, and rides off into the sunset at the end, And, has no ties, leaves nothing behind. And usually there's someone he's protecting in town that begs him to stay, and beneath his gruff exterior, there's a kindness and a warmth there, right? He's very good with Dan. He does things as a hunter, he's not obligated to help Doris with anything else, but he does. He's a great character. Yeah. Fun hero to follow. A decent amount about it. Cool. Page 57. Okay, cool, thank you. Was that the one? Let's see. That's the one you just read. I wish I just had traditional page numbers here in this app. Can I switch to that? Do you remember what chapter that is? Next Berserk discussion is to the end of volume 15. Cool. I do know Meg and I both had this. Where was that? Larmica. However, the Count continued, should he survive and you meet him again, what will you do should he spurn your affections? Larmica responded in a heartbeat. Flames of joy rose from her body. Her eyes glittered wildly, but were moist with hot tears. Her crimson lips parted slightly, and her slick tongue licked along her lips as if it possessed a will of its own. In that case, I will deal the death blow to him without fail. I shall rip out his heart and lop off his head, and then he shall truly be mine, and I shall be his. I will taste the sweet blood as it seeps from his wounds, and after I have kissed his pale and withered lips, I shall tear open my own breast and let the hot blood of the nobility course down his gaping throat. Like, fucking, that's some fucking passion. God, like the intertwining of just violence and lust is like primal. It's animalistic. It's hot. It's what we needed in Crescent City. Just a little bit of that. Just that would have been something. We didn't get that. And then I'll tell him as he is glutted upon the hot blood dribbling from my breast. Please find out immediately. Please find out immediately. That is hot. Thank you for more bits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. We're on our way to another jank spin, huh? Just thinking of something that can form from single cells out of nowhere and then hunts is terrifying. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like the Blob, you know? But, like, less goofy. Like, it's kind of, like, I don't know. If you saw it on screen, like, it might be just as goofy as the Blob. Like, it's a big cloud. Just melting cows. But also, that's horrifying. It's one of those things, like, maybe it's goofy, like, if you watch it in a movie or think about it from a distance. But, like, if you're there, seeing a cow melting out of this singeing cloud coming for you, like, that's fucking terrifying. And it can just, like, get into anywhere, right? There's no way to keep it out because it can just, like, wherever, like, gas can enter. Theoretically, like, it can get in there. The fear of the undead is always a wild one. Are we afraid that the bad guys will stay forever? Right? Believe Magnus Lee stated it was just as a mercy, but these vampires also seem disconnected from the older ones, so that's true too, yeah. Page 159. Love the effect incense had on Larmica. Black ichor squirted out through holes in her melting flesh. Had to look up what the hell ichor was. So brutal. Yeah, that's a very good image too. You know, I remember that one. I wonder if I highlighted that too, or if I just. I think I just like that line. Transient guests are we. And that's where, let's see. Oh, maybe I don't. Because it would probably be around here, maybe. Chapter 6 or 7, potentially. He seems to follow some code that the Sacred Ancestor followed. He mentioned Doris and Dan following it. It was the first time he smiled, I believe, when they let Larmica go. Oh, yeah, right. I do like a lot of these things, like a lot of the things in this book are, yeah, maybe they're kind of tropey. Maybe they're a little familiar. I don't want to say cliched because that has a negative connotation. Like, I think leaning into archetypes of a genre and realizing there's power in, like, the Western archetype and the tropes therein. And then, like, using that to play with and combine with, like, another set of toys and tropes can be very powerful. And if you maybe mess with the formula too much, you could potentially lose some of that power, you know? So all that to say, like, to that point, like, a lot of things I think are just narratively satisfying, even if they're kind of expected. So, like, showing Larmica mercy, and then at the end her coming back to aid them in their escape, you know? Like, the setup, you kind of see a lot of these things coming, but they kind of, for me, like, they all actually hit though. It was like just a good, entertaining, narratively satisfying tale. How far are we? Yeah, let's see. 720 bits at the moment. The new goal is 2,000, so I increase it by 500 every time we hit it, just so I don't get overwhelmed with janks. So right now we have 2 janks lined up: True Crime Streets of LA and Yakuza. But yeah, thank you so much. On the way to the next, like a third of the way there, just about, a little past. Incredibly gruesome, yet fervent declaration of love. I often give Vampire Hunter D props because it's the first place of media that I can remember helping me cope with the idea of death. Really? How so, if you want to elaborate? Maybe with Persona 3? Yeah? You love true crime? Oh man, that is like, that one Jankuary, it's so much fun. Oh, this is, okay, I was talking about like the badass things that D said. This is fucking it. This is so badass. This is where they like, Degensei and his like crew have abducted Dan, and they've got him in these straps that are like crushing him, like tearing into his flesh, because they're like shrinking around him. Though they looked like ordinary leather straps, they must have been tied with some fiendish skill, because they started pressing deep into Dan's shoulders and arms. These bonds are rather special, Degensei said, twisting his lips into a grin and making a small circle with his thumb and forefinger. Apply force from the right direction and they pull up tight like this. I figure for a child of 8, it should take 20 minutes or so for them to sink far enough into his flesh to choke the life out of him. If you haven't finished us all off by then, this boy will be cursing you from the hereafter. Does that light a little fire under you? D! What an utterly heartless tactic. The bonds had already begun working their way through his clothes. As the boy writhed in agony, D gave him a few powerful words of encouragement. This'll just take a minute. Like, that's a fucking cool line. 20 minutes? Nah. I'll have it done in 1. I can't remember, like, how long do they end up saying it takes him? Isn't it like 40-something seconds? It's quick. You think it's not going to be, because things start going awry, but he ends up knocking them out pretty quickly. Near the climax, D has an encounter with one of the antagonists, and while they battle, they are talking to each other. The antagonist says something to the effect of, "Humans are meat. We feed on them as they feed on cattle. That is the rule of nature." And D very powerfully replies, "No. Nothing lasts forever. That is the rule of nature." That's a good line. For whatever reason, that has stuck with me. That's cool. I should mention the antagonist makes a point that vampires are eternal and will last forever. Yeah, 15 seconds each. Excuse me. Any other favorite passages or excerpts or ideas? Things you really enjoyed? Oh, I highlighted this one. This is the one thing about the book that I would like to take a look at this in Japanese. I found these really silly in English, and I feel like it's one of those things that maybe it's like Japanese often has a way of expressing something that we just don't have a good analog for. And so, like, you could take some major liberties with it, but if you try and... Excuse me. If you try and express it in the same way, it might be kind of, like, grammatically clunky. And this is one of them, like, here's what they meant by, that was close and you changed your target. I think this is... Yeah, okay. Having leapt 10 feet away, Degensei's eyes sparkled and a loathsome grin escaped his throat. I can't believe you changed your target at the last second. Narrative, like, authorial voice kicks in. Here's what they meant by, that was close, and you changed your target. And then it'll, like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like a little, like, almost like spoon feeding, where, like, the narrative, like, the narration steps in. It's like, so, reader, in case you're confused about what's happening, this is what's going on. And, like, it's just kind of silly. But I feel like maybe it's better in Japanese, and it just, like, it's kind of silly in translation. I don't know. Anyone notice these? There were a few of them. Like, that kind of thing. Or, like, I don't know, like, the narration kind of changes, like, its tone. Reminds me of Lemony Snicket's writing style. It kind of reads like, yeah, like, storybook, like, juvenile, or, like child fiction, you know? With, like, a very heavy-handed narration to make sure that, like, the kid understands the plot, kind of thing. Didn't care for them, was wonky to me. Yeah, they're weird. I did love the less chaotic description of D on page 51. The youth had about him an air that churned the calm waters of the human soul. Oh, that's very good. Yeah. It's interesting. Like, it's one of those things that, like, it keeps coming back. Like, the youth. Because it's easy to lose sight of. Like, because, you know, he's like this ageless presence and, like, force. But, like, that description, like, coming back to the idea of, like, the youth, you know? This, like, beautiful youth that, like, everyone's swooning over. Because, like, you can be told that and then, like, within a page lose sight of it. Because, like, he's this just larger-than-life, like, brutally effective fighting force. Very smart and capable. This is like, there's some better examples, but I remember to catch this one. This is the end of day. But I like, again, how a lot of times the action sequences will, like, hyper-focus in on some thing within the scene, but not, like, the primary action always, like a body part, or, like, just blood spraying across the ground. And it draws your eye there and focuses in and then, like, pulls out or pans over. It's like, wait, what's going on? Who just lost their arm? And then we see, but it starts with, like, this very effective, immediate, visceral action. Dee's forehead split, but it was just a thin layer of skin. An instant later, bright red blood gushed from Negensei's abdomen. The dashing young man's expression was one of stupefaction as he gazed at the blade protruding from his belly, the same blade that was supposed to split Dee's head in two. The vampire hunter had swung his sword overhead and only cut the outermost layer of skin on Negensei's brow, then changed his grip on his sword in midair and drove it right through his own stomach. Already linked by the extra-dimensional passageway, when the blade went into Dee's body, it materialized in Negensei's belly instead. Aside from his ability to twist and link points in space, Negensei was otherwise a normal human who couldn't survive that sort of punishment. This was the sort of absurd method of killing only a Dhampir like Dee would be capable of. Dan, put that candle out for me. Another badass line. As he listened to the boy dash into action, Negensei thudded to the ground. The incense left his hand, and his bright blood stained the earth. And I think that's just a way more effective scene than, like, if we started with the action of, like, Dee stabbing himself, and then, like, elaborating upon that. We just start with the, like, it's already done. It's that immediate, you know? And, like, starting with the finality of the action, and, like, oh man, he's already fucking dead. Just spraying blood, and then, like, pulling back and explaining how we got here, I think is just good writing. I will say I thought they might have been a recurring villain since he's a problem during the day. Wasn't expecting him to die. Yeah, maybe less. Didn't expect it more. I thought it'd be good to keep him around. He's brutal, man. And just, like, I thought his crew would play more of a role together, but, like, he just fucking betrays them, like, immediately. It's like, oh, I have an opportunity to be a noble. That's fine. I'll kill everybody in exchange for that. Like, they mean nothing to me. And because they're all, like, really, like, well-designed, memorable characters. Like, in, like, the bar scene when you... Another example of what I'm talking about, where it's just, like, we're seeing these spiders crawl across the floor. What is this? And then it's like, and they go up his back and then, like, go into this big kind of, like, hunchback, like, abscess, and the skin swallows them up and it closes. Like, that's disgusting. What the fuck is this guy? And you don't really see that much of him. But the fact that, like, that's such a well-designed creature and, like, antagonist, and, you know, you face off against him, but... yeah, there's, like, restraint there. It's like, these are the kinds of characters that just, like, add so much weight and mystery to this world. And, like, the fact that they're fleeting, but, like, you could easily see, like, a full-on storyline that would elaborate upon them because they're that compelling, like, even as a snapshot. Like, that's good shit. Ew. It was nasty, right? Like, that, I hated it. I fucking hated it. Especially the disgusting spider dude. Yeah, the rocket-shaped fist guy. Yeah, and then they're just all fucking dead. Immediately. Man. Oh yeah, like just to that point, when his gang takes out the FDF. Would you like me to go check it out? Asked Gimlet. He shook his head. This is A speaking, right? I think so, yeah. He shook his head from side to side. No, I shall look into this. The rest of you kindly dispose of these unsightly remains. Burn them or eat them, whichever suits your fancy, he said, smiling at his disturbing orders. Nah, you're good. Fishy, what's going on? You're right on time. You know, I should have sent you a message because, like, we kept it the same time as last time. It's like, maybe you saw it in the updates in the server, but I should have made sure. How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for coming. We're just talking about favorite parts of Vampire Hunter D. You didn't like that? No. In the 2003 film, instead of Dampier, they say Dunpeel. Since that movie was all I knew for the longest time, I accepted that term. Only come to learn much later in life that Dampier is more correct. Unfortunately, my ears prefer Dunpeel, even though I recognize it's incorrect. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. I understand that, though. Pretty powerful introduction to Count Magnus in Chapter 3. Even the shower of midday sunlight changed color here, and a nauseating miasma seemed to come from the morbid expanse of land surrounding the castle. Yeah, I think I have that one too. Wait. Yep. I think a couple of us are just gravitating just towards some very good passages, because like Meg and I had the same one, and then you and I both have this one. Yep. The grass was green as far as the eye could see, and the trees were laden with succulent fruit, but not a single bird could be heard. Like, I really love both of those descriptions, because like the one is like sickly. It honestly reminded me of reading Hell House. Excuse me. When they go to Hell House, and it's like you really feel so isolated, because like the descriptions of the drive, and it's just like we're driving through like basically like this toxic miasma of fog. You can't see anything in front of you, and you know, you just feel like, oh man, it's like this horrific frontier, isolated. But then the grass is green. The trees are laden with succulent fruit. And there's like something very creepy about like this perfectly harvestable, like seemingly healthy crop of fruits. And the fact that like there are no birds about or like no animals picking at them is very spooky. You know, like your bad guys birthing spiders from their bat cocoon? No. God. You just reminded me of a friend I had in college, and she liked to watch those videos of people removing bot flies. I'm just like, she showed me one once. Like, why did you show me that? I still remember it. Why do you watch these? Why do you do this? No, I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't join you in this. Botflies, nature's... Yeah. Descriptions are great. Yeah. Busy with housing stuff. Oh, you got some housing? Did you move, or are you setting up something in your house? How's it going? But his house is pest-free. Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. I actually... That makes me feel a little nauseous. Because I read it, and it's like I was thinking about it in the scene, but I didn't allow my brain to elaborate upon like what this would mean for his personal life and all the situations that the spiders would be. The broccoli's fighting back. I think it's the broccoli, or it could be the tomatoes or the noodles. What is the most likely candidate? Or coffee? It's just the body. Body's rejecting the art, the story. It's the brain. I knew someone who watched disgusting procedure videos and insisted I saw them too. Yeah. I mean, I guess like that does things for some people. Like, I have to imagine it's like, I don't know. It's like the feeling maybe I get like, oh, you do like you spray in some like expanding insulation, you know, like in a home, like in the wall. Like you spray out that expanding foam insulation and you watch that expand and like fill the recess between the 2x4s or whatever. It's like, that's really satisfying. Look at it go. It's like, I guess that it's like that same sensation, but like, it's that plus all this grossness. I don't get it, but I sort of theoretically get it, but just please don't show me. I don't want to get it. I can't join you. I mean, she was like that. She's like, it's just so satisfying to watch. You can sort of feel this. I was like, no. Moving on. Back to spider bat cocoons. Oh, this is the one I kept bringing up. A pained cry of ah could be heard from the bushes as the Egensei's left hand was severed at the elbow. It flew through the air, a candle still held tight in its fist. D, who'd rushed to where the Egensei had landed the moment he'd fended off the 3 attacks, had chopped it off. It's like we end the paragraph with the actual like inciting event or action. We get all these other like more descriptive, more vivid visual descriptions and sounds that like demand your attention and bring an immediacy to the action, more so than just like D swinging the sword. I like that. I actually think I like that previous example better with the death of they, but it's good. I like that style. We're purchasing. Oh, you're purchasing a house. That's awesome. I'm sorry about the stressful stuff though. Got some really good news today. That's awesome. But the good news, hell yeah! Congrats on getting a house. That's awesome. So you're staying in the U.S. I wasn't sure, like how long term it was. I first met Fishy when he was still residing in Japan, but made the move to the U.S. I don't remember how long ago it's been. A little while now, right? Two years, man, time flies, no kidding. 2 years. Seriously. Wow. Congrats, seriously. That's so cool. Any other things you want to talk about? Fishy, did you have anything on Vampire Hunter D? Whenever you feel ready, everybody, we can move on to Monster. Talk about that a little bit. This is an extensive excerpt. Why? I think I just thought this was a good action sequence. By all means, shoot me if it'll make you feel any better. But before you do, there's one thing you seem to be forgetting. The commander knit his brow in consternation. The Fiend Corps is not a quartet, the Egensei said in an exquisite voice. What? A stir ran through the FDF members. At some point, the foursome had taken their eyes off the FDF and turned them straight to the side. We have a guardian angel the rest of the world knows nothing about. Still looking off to the side, the Egensei pulled the corner of his lips up sharply. His was the devil's own smile. Oh, here it comes now. When an unremitting source of terror to the human body and soul appeared right in front of them, the degree of shock each of the victims felt seemed to be directly dependent on their proximity to it. The instant the thing materialized from thin air, hovering over the commander's horse, the leader died of shock, and the 5 FDF members within 10 feet of him went insane. And that wasn't all. Apparently even animals could see the thing, or perhaps they could sense its troubling presence. The lead horses forgot all about running away, but instead dropped to a spasming heap on the ground, frothing from the nose and mouth. The rest of the steeds reared up. Like, that's a very horrifying image, just all the horses dropping down into just this big heap. Most likely, the FDF members who fell from their mounts as a result didn't cry out because part of their psyches had already been shattered. Some of them had their heads staved by the hooves of the rampaging horses, while others seemed frozen as they watched it coming closer and closer. The thing leisurely made its way from one survivor to the next, touching each of the members in turn. The capital's greatest fighting men quietly died of madness, powerless to stop it. Well, what do you think? The 5th member of the Fiend Corps is quite the looker, isn't it? What? Oh wait, it's slightly creepy that the author sexualizes Doris so much. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that either. You might be in ads right now. Sorry, we got ads going. Maybe I'll give it a minute and 20. Magic Job, you in here? You're subscribed though, right? So you're hearing this? Page 126, when the Medusas are introduced today. Yes, out in the eddying mist, out in the sticky, unsettling fog that steadily gnawed away at their psyches. Such a great feeling of dread. Yeah, they were cool. And the D's encounter with them, too. Like, just like them rising up out of, like, the murky waters in the fog down below the castle. Like, that was sick. I guess I do have an extensive thing on time bewitching incense. You know what? A couple of these kind of get into the background a little bit that I thought was really interesting. That's right. So I do have some of these. The predominant element of vampire civilization was their love of medieval styles, even in their superiorly advanced tech-filled capital. The designs of many of the buildings closely resembled those of medieval Europe. Perhaps something in their DNA cried out for a return to the golden age that lived on in their genetic memory, a time when superstition and legend and all manner of weird creatures prevailed. Maybe that explained why so many detestable monsters and spirits had been resurrected by their super science. There's just so much to like about the book, though. Oh wait, the ads are here now. That was a countdown. Man, I'm really bad at this. That gets me every time. Did you just get thrown into ads, Fishy? Are you in here? Time bewitching incense is cool. Maybe I'll read this. I think maybe Fishy or... Yeah, some of you are stuck in ads, so I'll just read one of mine before I catch up on any comments, just in the meantime. Time bewitching incense could be called the ultimate chemical compound, born of the vampire's physiological needs. For the most part, the information and rumors people passed along about the physiology of these fiends, the various stories told since time immemorial, were essentially true. Outlandish tales about transforming into bats, turning themselves into fog and billowing away, and so on. Stories that there were vampires who could do such things and others who couldn't were taken as fact. Just as in human society ability varied according to an individual's disposition, so too among the vampires there were some demons who freely controlled the weather, while other fiends had mastery over lower animals. Many aspects of the vampire's fantastic physiology, however, remain shrouded in mystery. For example, the reason why they slept by day but awoke at night remained unclear. Even enveloped by darkness in a secret chamber that blocked out all possible light, the vampire's body grew rigid with the coming of the unseen dawn, their heart alone continuing to beat as they fell into death's breathless slumber. Despite a concerted effort at explanation spanning thousands of years and investing the essence of every possible field of science, ecology, biology, cerebral physiology, psychology, and even superpsychology, the damned couldn't shed a bit of light on the true cause of their sleep. As if to say, those who dwelt in the darkness were denied even the rays of hope. Born of the vampire's desperate research, time-bewitching incense was one means of overcoming their limitations. Wherever its scent hung, the time would become night, or rather appear to be night. In a manner of speaking, normal temporal effects were so altered by this chemical compound, the incense made time itself seem hypnotized. In the glistening sunlight of early afternoon, the night-blooming moonlight grass would open its gorgeous white flowers. People would doze off and remain asleep indefinitely, and the eyes of vampires would shine with a piercing light. Due to the extreme difficulty of finding and combining the components, The incense was very hard to come by, but rumors spread to every corner of the frontier about hunters who forced their way into a vampire resting place when the sun was high, only to be brutally ambushed by nobles who just happened to have some on hand. There, in the false night, defaced the dark liege lord. Like, that is just a very cool, some great lore, and it's a very cool lead into that scene. And to learn all that, it's like, and there he was, in that false night, facing the liege lord. It's badass. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading some of mine. I thought you might be stuck in the ads. So there's just so much to like about the book, though. The world building, the characters, the atmosphere. Yeah, so you liked it overall? But along with that, I can't shake the feel of a more shonen aspect of it. Yeah. I can see that. A lot of those maybe were like focusing on similar aspects. Like, I tied it more to just like Western influence, but to that point, like, there's definitely a connection there with like the kinds of things you see in a Western and in shonen. And I mean, even in like samurai films, right? Like, a lot of those Kurosawa films got remade, and like there was like a back and forth. But like a lot of those, like Yojimbo, right? That's is it A Fistful of Dollars? Like, it's a Clint Eastwood movie, or I mean, the Clint Eastwood movie is Yojimbo. But a lot of those like kinds of archetypes were just like the Ronin, or like just the wandering warrior happens upon a town where, you know, shit's going down, and sorts it out, and then wanders on. Book was great. I really enjoyed it. Volume from ads seriously scared me earlier. Really? Damn, what was it for? Back from ads, I would like to throw a comment I've noticed for a while, but I think your mic volume is lower than other streamers I watch, and even lower than the ads. Oh, yeah? Am I too low? Mic is at 100%. Could I make it louder somehow? Sounds okay to you? Okay. Maybe the ads just need to fucking tone it down a little bit. Audio seems great here. Yeah. I think I get it wrong a lot, but if I got it right today, cool. Like, maybe the ads just jank. Thank you so much for more bits. Thank you. We're on our way to more janks. Tell me the vampires are smoking that green? Oh shit, maybe. Is that what the time oh, you know what? I'm gonna start calling it that. Anyone trying to do some time bewitching incense? You know, it's the ultimate chemical compound. It's not soft, but if you watch your VODs and then switch to other streamers, there's a noticeable difference. I wonder how I can make it louder. Like, compared to them. Okay. Just the default Twitch Turbo ad. That's what the kids call it these days. Good old time bewitching incense. Yeah, BI. BI. Trying to smoke some BI if it's legal in your area, and if it's not, no. Any other thoughts on Vampire Hunter D? I liked it. I would like to read a. Oh man, Meg, you're maybe already at work. Are you at work? If you hear this, or you pop back in, and anyone else, if you got to head out, before you go, please let me know your book choice. I can put your stuff on the wheel, because I don't think I have any for this month. I don't think anyone's told me. Everyone's gonna get another point, or 2, or maybe even 3. If you come to all parts of the discussion, you could have 3 choices, or 3 points for a choice. Powers are very interesting, gave me a sort of JoJo feel. Oh yeah, anyone in particular? I'm not that familiar with JoJo. We were talking about some of them. We were talking about Spider Cocoon back. Or like Negensei's like ability to make like the dimensional portal in his body. That was fucking sick. I really like that. Yeah, Negensei's power, that was super cool. Am I the only one who envisioned D's hand as Beetlejuice? Damn, I fucked up. I can't say that I did. It's been a while. I got to take center stage. It's showtime. Yeah. Shit, man. Okay, that's the way to read it, right? Now I just want to review all of the hand dialogue, left-hand dialogue, and just read it in Michael Keaton Beetlejuice voice. Funny enough, the bugs coming out of the pustules reminds me more of Chinese wuxia novels. Oh, really? Oh, no kidding. Okay. Any in particular? It's a common theme? Asian wuxia stuff? Really? Okay. Because I haven't really experienced enough to know. I'm trying to think now. It's nasty. I think those were all my notes. Let's see. Got that one. Got that one. Certain cultivation practices for insects. It is gross. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I also like that the vampires are like, nah, let's just brainwash the entire human race. Yeah, you know, oh man, one of my favorite things is like learning that humans, like, it kind of covers some potential, like, why isn't this the case? Questions that a reader might have without feeling like too contrived. You know, it's like, why haven't they figured out these ways to dispatch the nobles, the vampires, yet? And it's like, because they forget. And then you have that scene. Is it the doctor? It is, right? Where he's like, he learns something, but the count is like, you're going to forget it. And like, I think that scene is told really well, where like, he's like, it's immediate. Like, he's just kind of left with like, wait, what was I just saying? I had this thought, but now I can't quite grasp it. And it comes right on the heels of like, him learning the weakness. I can't remember where that was. I'm like forgetting some specific details, but I thought that was really cool and well told. They can't remember anything we're weak to. Yeah, exactly. Really enjoyed the book, though. Thanks for putting the discussion together. I think the only negative critique is Dee just seems too overpowered. Stakes are never too high for him, but this is the only first volume, so plenty of material for that to change. Yeah. That's fair. Like, he is like a superhero, right? Even when he dies, he's not really dead. And I don't know, when you see that there's like 30 novels or whatever, it's like, yeah, we're never going to really feel the, oh my God, is he going to make it? It's Vampire Hunter D Book 2 of 37. I don't know if he's going to make it through this one. This opponent looks pretty powerful. Yeah, 29 more books to go. I think it's kind of unavoidable, but it tries, you know, briefly. Like, they kill him. And Hand is like, get back up. You're about to get eaten by a cloud. And it just polished off a cow, but it looks like it's still hungry. Yeah, no rush, but that's very true. It does seem like it's more of a, what's the word, power trip story? Yeah. Yeah, like a superhero or like a Western where it's like, yeah, you're not, you know that he's going to walk off or ride off into the sunset at the end of it. Like, it's kind of a given. But can you have moments of tension through that? Maybe at least for the peripheral characters, right? Like, oh, are Dan and Doris and everyone else going to be okay? Doctor also starts with a D. I don't remember his name, but he was a doctor. He wasn't okay. Nothing wrong with stories like that. Yeah, I was saying earlier, like, there's a lot of inherent power in tropes and archetypes, you know? It's not always just like a negative cliche. Sometimes it's like, these are recurring motifs through human storytelling, through history, through folklore. And if you seize upon their power and contextualize them in a very interesting way, then even without, like, maybe changing too many of the particulars, like maybe if it is still kind of on some level, like, acceptable or like familiar. In the right context, it can be, you can have that inherent power and then do something very interesting with it, or like subvert it. I've enjoyed One Punch Man and Solo Leveling as power fantasies. That's the word, power fantasies. Yeah. I don't think the stakes are what make D's story worthwhile. You can kind of compare him to Superman. The intent isn't for him to overcome a physical threat, but more so embracing and exploring his humanity and how he relates to it. That's a good point. And a lot of these things too, it's like they can work for a while. Sometimes they wear out their welcome, like with Superman, you know? It's like every time you present the new like universe spanning or like the threat that is like enough to put the fate of the universe at risk. It's like, well, how does Superman defeat that? Well, you have to like up his power game. Same thing with like Goku. It's like, well, we did Super Saiyan, now Super Saiyan 2 or 3. It's like you just keep upping the ante for each one, and then they just become gods. And I think a lot of times, like, at a certain point, it jumps the shark. It's like, all right, now everyone is just like, they're just gods, and it's just too powerful. And where do you go? Like, you can't really escalate any further. And then sometimes that's when you get, like, a reboot or something narratively happens to, like, maybe make Goku a child again or something. But you do reach the point of, like, kind of where you can't really go any further with it. And a lot of times that's kind of where it's, like, less interesting, right? It's like, yeah, there are no stakes. But a lot of times, like, for a while, that can work pretty well. And it all takes you to a certain fantastical place. Yeah. The thing is, like, even beyond, like, all of the plot points, what I liked most about this was just had great vibes. Like, the atmosphere of the world. Like, the outlandish, weird, goofy, gritty, post-apocalyptic, kind of pulpy lore. And this landscape of just these, like, vampire castles and the frontier and this, like, kind of forgotten technology and these little bands of humans, you know, and, like, Western-style towns with the sheriff and trying to make their way in this, like, encroaching darkness with all these creatures, like, all the creatures from horror fiction and folklore roving about. Like, that's fucking cool. This is a cool world. I want to see more of it. I feel like the story later on will need to be carried by the side characters in a sense. The world building and lore is great though. Yeah, I'm curious to see, like, for a first novel, for the first one, like, I thought it was sick. There were some moments of, like, goofy writing that I do still wonder, like, how much of that is trying to translate something that, like, maybe works, like a construction that makes more sense in Japanese, but it's a way of expressing an idea, or, like, narrating a story that just in English is very clunky. But overall, had a really good time reading it. Still gained a good sense of how powerful yet tragic the vampire characters were. Deeply flawed for being immoral and stuff. Good book. Good book. Final thoughts? If not, we can move on to Monster. Vampire! PM, how you doing? Actually, that's one aspect I liked. Oh yeah, what? When the doctor converted into a vampire? Yeah, that was good. Just like, why are we riding out here? This is very suspicious. D for Dampire. Yeah. D for Dan. And Doris. EchoPixel noticed how many characters start with the letter D, and I can't believe I didn't pick up on that. Goku is classically misunderstood in that sense. While you have a point about power scaling, Goku has what's known as a flat character arc. Most character arcs are defined by how they change through the arc, but the flat character arc is the opposite. Goku never changes, but he changes the world around him. This is the most prevalent in OGDB. In DBZ, Goku always shows compassion and mercy to those who arguably don't deserve it, and there's people like Piccolo and Vegeta. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but, like, my point was, like, in a sense of, like, an ability and, like, level of power and level of threat, which is it's not exactly tied to his character. Like, he gets stronger. He gets, like, more powers at his disposal. Like, to the Superman idea, right? and we have more powerful villains show up, and everyone just keeps getting stronger and stronger, you know? And you get to a point where, like, you look back on, like, some of the people that, you know, you look back at, like, the beginning of the show, and it's like, oh, yeah, Nappa's a nothing, right? Or whoever it was. Because we've come all this way, and now we're fighting this crazy level of threat and power, you know? So just that kind of idea, more so than, like, character attributes. It showcases the change that becoming a vampire actually does. Yeah. Yeah, did you have it? I don't think I have that excerpted, but if you wanted to share a page number, I could bring it up. I can't remember exactly when that happens. It's kind of late. I don't know what chapter that is, though. I don't really care for vampires, but I like this so far. I think I'd want to read more to see where it goes now. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, vampires aren't my favorite thing, but I can be really into them if it's a good story. Especially when they're, like, kind of brutal. Like, when a story, like, emphasizes the monstrous aspect to a vampire, I'm really into it. When we get, like... I'd like to have another example than just Twilight, you know? But, like, that's the end of the spectrum in that way. But just, like, defanging vampires, like, I'm just so over that kind of shit, you know? But something that brings out the inherent horror of them, like, yeah, I can be into that. Are able to change for the better. D for Dunderhead. Vampire Hunter Dunderhead. Vampire Hunter Dum Dum. He wasn't dumb, though. Typically, even in D&D terms, they just become full, lawful, evil versions on themselves. Yeah. Even if they were kind of good people before. Yeah, good point. It's interesting how Larmika's personality comes out at the end, like her choices. You know, this, like, residual portion of humanity within her to, like, help out Doris after receiving Doris's mercy. It's still self-serving, right, in a lot of ways, but there's more to it than just that, I think. Illustrations were fantastic. Definitely will explore more of his work. Yeah, those were good. They, a lot of times, like, if you look at his, like, Final Fantasy, like, creature designs and concept art, like, it looks very similar, where it's kind of like a loose, like, monochromatic, sketchy style, and I really dug it. And the cover was great, too. But if Amano touched something, I'm probably a fan of it. At least a little bit. Raditz always gets clowned on, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? This is a vampire story and a post-apocalypse story, right? Apocalypse? Man. I think I'm talked out. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Some of the lore is very goofy and fun. Like, very outlandish, unhinged. I don't have the text version up at the moment. No worries. Can't bring that part up exactly. No, if you had it, I would just show it off for you, but, because I don't think I have that one marked. For how they portrayed? I like, The Last Voyager of the Demeter, for how they portrayed Dracula. Last Voyage. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've, read that one. Yoshitaka Amano art is just so divine. I agree. He's the best. Whoops. Where was I trying to go? Look at that shit. Just look at that. Beautiful. Y'all want to talk some monster? Unfortunately, I cannot show monster. Oh, no. I'm not supposed to do that. Hold on. Wait. Look away. I don't know. What am I going to put on screen? What should I do? Jesus, this is so bright. Okay, just that. God. This first volume was really good. You suspect Johann is a Jedi? Tell me more. Banned. Yeah, if you all just draw a monster. It's a film based on Bram Stoker's original novel. Oh, yeah, okay. It focuses on the Demeter, the ship that carried Dracula's coffin to England. Yeah, right. I don't know why. Yes. And horrors that they endured on that voyage. Oh, that would be cool. Because, yeah, that's like a tale in itself. That's one of my favorite portions of that novel. Just like reading the diary entries of the captain. It's like the crew is disappearing. And then he finally is just like, the ship rolls into port. And he's just like tethered to the mast, right? Yeah. I gotta see that. I think I have heard of that. Boy is getting longer hair. Yeah, I feel like a lot happened in this first volume. So we read 5, 6, 7, and 8. 4 in total. This one started with like the interrogation of what is his name? What is the doctor's name? Rudy Gillen with Jurgens. He's got a very creepy like character design, like the way his eyes are just obscured behind his spectacles. It's very like the way that the volume 5 started with that scene. It was like it just immediately like it hooked me. There, DM'd you your official monster art. What do we got? Thank you. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphorical representation of the monster. I don't get how Johann managed to convince so many people to do things, even to the point of the serial killer offing himself. Is he the face that launched 1,000 ships? What is happening? He's a very pretty face. You know, so the one scene that kind of made me get it a little bit is it Carl? Carl Newman, right? The kid, is it the Thursday boy? He's reading to the elderly, wealthy man, his father. Is it Schumann? Man, Schwald. I had to like jot down some of the character names just so I wouldn't lose track. He's reading to Schwald, you know, and there's the point where he's talking a little bit about his background in like foster care, and Johann turns to him and is like, please tell me more details. And like after he hears the story, like he's just crying. And like it's one of those moments like, is there a humanity, like an empathetic or sympathetic core to Johann? That like on some level he's identifying with a fellow kid's experience who's been through all these families, or like pure psychopathic manipulation, like emotional manipulation. Reading, scary. Hey, Penguin, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, we just talked about Vampire Hunter D. We read a novel, and then we read a few volumes of the manga Monster, and we're talking about it. He has a weird one. I can't remember their names. I just call him Old Crazy Psychologist. Yeah. They use that art of him constantly with the slight head tilt. Mm-hmm. Rich old man in a wheelchair. Yep, that guy. I already forgot. Schwald. Schwing. Schwald. There's the one doctor character. I cannot remember his name. I just call him Wilford Brimley. You know who I'm talking about, right? Dr. Brimley. You can cry when you're laughing. Some people can't tell the difference. Yeah. This is true. In that scene, I don't know if it's humor. I don't know if I feel that was either an actor or a second personality coming out, but I lean heavily towards the crying being act. I do too. It's kind of one of those things like, in the moment, almost, like I felt like the movie Training Day was another one of these. Like a good performance or like a very well realized, like kind of sociopathic or psychopathic character that that the way they get by is they emotionally manipulate those around them. And you can, like, understand that and yet still almost fall victim to it when, like, because they're so good at it, you know? And in the scene, you can almost, like, forget for a moment and, like, watch something or, like, see some character action and be like, well, wait, is there maybe? And then you, like, you know, regain your senses, like, no, like, monster, serial killer, bad guy. But then you can sort of, like, because it was done so well, at least for me as a reader, like, then you kind of get it. Like, yeah, that's how he's so manipulative of those around him, that this is how he, like, inserts himself into all of these social situations and then, like, picks them off one by one. Yeah. I really like the visual and pacing depictions of a few scenes that show dread. Like in the scene with the dead detective resisting his addiction to alcohol, or the dread when old crazy psychologist was facing the killer guy. I screenshot a few of those, and I don't know, I'd like put so many pages in the Discord server in the thread. But I did have that one screenshot as well, like, because you really, like, his daughter refuses to, is Richard, right? Richard? That's very tragic. Like, he's about to reconnect with his daughter, you know? It's so sad. But this is when she's still turning him down. Like, he's asking his ex-wife, like, does she want to see me? I'm like, no. And then she walks out and leaves him alone, and he's, like, looking over, and, like, the panel, like, is, like, close-up zoomed on these other guys that are just, like, having a great time. And it's, like, dwelling on, like, the drinks, like, the glasses touching their lips. And, like, he's all tensed up. And then he orders the whiskey, but then it, like, cuts, and it's just, like, the crumpled money on the booth, like, the tabletop. And the full glass of whiskey, you know? But, like, there's so many good moments of tension like that in this story, like, in these volumes. Like, when Roberto comes to visit Dr. Wilford Brimley, and he's, like, making tea, or he's, like, heating water in the kettle on the stove. Like, this is a very tense scene. And there were just, like, there were a few examples through these novels of, like, goddamn, he sets up the tension so well visually, and with where he chooses to focus and, like, frame the moment and, like, the building, and then, like, some really phenomenal action sequences and, like, the juxtaposition of those two, like that scene, and then going into, like, he bursts out through the door, and then Tenma's there, like, on the steps with his gun. Like, that was just a really good sequence of action and scenes. Great build up. It was a sad death. Yeah, and it like hits really hard because it's just like, you know, like, it's like him walking off, and Johan orders, or he buys the bottle of whiskey, and they're walking off, is like, he's fucking done, man. And you don't even see anything. And the next thing is just like, it's funeral. Yeah, he's fucking dead. That one was particularly sad. Maybe in these volumes it was the saddest death. I mean, the one is the other one. What is his name? Oh shoot, is it Michael? I think Michael. He's one of the corrupt cops, right? And he's, like, escaped, and he's made, like, a new life for himself with his family. And he's got Roberto as his bodyguard, you know? And he's just, like, relaxing by the pool. And at first he's like, oh, this fucking guy, like, bad guy. Yep. Corruption worked out, you know? In the end, he got everything he wanted. But he has this, like, kind of redemption arc, you know? Where he sacrifices himself to save Nina. And, it's kind of a bummer at the end of it. Dusty, what's up? I need to get more milk? For what? Good to see you, though. Welcome in. Didn't even drink the good stuff. Yeah, right. That's how they figure out that he didn't, like, he didn't just get drunk and fall off the building. He would have never have bought that whiskey. He doesn't buy that shit. Doesn't buy that domestic shit. Thank you for remembering the names. I was remembering his name is Ricardo instead of Roberto. Yeah, no, I'm doing my best. But I had to, like, flip through and be like, what was it? Carl Newman, Lotte Frank, Han George Schwald, Dr. Wilford Brimley. I was running late. It's like, I don't know where, no one's saying his name aloud. Where is it? I don't know. Fine, I'll just, big bushy mustache man. You know who I'm talking about. Redemption for that guy was pretty decently done. Yeah, it really was. I thought that was a good, like these volumes really, they wandered, but in a good way. Like we were all over the place. Like we spent a lot of time away from Tenma. You know, we're over here with Richard for a while. We're like doing this whole like Thursday Boy storyline where Tenma barely shows up. And like they're very elaborate tales around these characters. At first you think like this is going to be a few pages setup and then we're going to get back to Tenma. But no, actually his role in a lot of these, after volume 5, I want to say, like was very undersized. We spent a lot more time with everybody else, which was interesting. This monster, did you read the physical book? I read it like in ebook format, but is there something particular about the physical manga? But we did read, like, if you mean did we just read the manga, then yes. Every time I see characters have hope or something to live for, I'm filled with dread. Yeah. Yeah. It usually doesn't go well. I was literally looking for the ebook this morning out of sheer coincidence. Oh, no kidding. Yeah? Did you find it? I want to read it. If you read it, I don't know that we decided how many we're going to read for next time, but we're going to keep reading it. Nope. I got it on archive.org, pretty sure. I think it's on the Internet Archive. But not like the omnibus editions, but like the regular Tankobon. Do I have a link? Let's go try and give it to you if you want it. Yeah, maybe. Let me know if you track it down. Take a look there. I did find them all there. That's how I've been reading them. It was 4 normal volumes for this session, I think. Yeah. Next session is volume 9 onwards. Yeah, was this too many? Because we can drop it back down. I don't know if I'll get to read it in time, but yeah, I'm looking now. Yeah, we're in kind of deep right now. We read quite a few this time because I had the idea like if we upped the pace a little bit, we could finish by around Halloween and then read like a spooky manga for spooky season. But yeah, if you catch up, we'd love to have you. Any other thoughts on Monster? I don't know, like Monster's one of those like I think it leaves me with less to like talk about in terms of a discussion because it's just like a tightly plotted thriller. So it can be like, oh yeah, that was a cool scene. I liked that. Oh, that was spooky. But like it's not like vague in the sense where like we can talk about different interpretations. At least I have trouble with that. You know? I feel MC's tired adult life. Yeah. Yeah, we went over how good it is, sort of. Yeah, I felt like this rounded out Tenma a little bit. Like, he feels like a more believable character. Like, I posted a few pages, and one is like, oh, learning that he cheated in college. I don't know, on some level it's like, oh, he's more human because of that, but then again, I don't know. At the same time, it's like, nah, he's still like too perfect. Like even the way that he's imperfect is kind of perfect because he delivers that line with just like such a lovable little smirk. Like, hey, I cheated too. It's fine. I don't judge you. Like, oh man, Tenma, you're the best. What I don't like is all the characters trying to protect his innocence, preventing him from killing Johan. Like, guys, yeah. He did become more human then. He did, yeah. I guess the point I'm getting at is, like, we give him some maybe, like, rough edges, but, like, the rough edges are still so, like, smooth. And it's not, like, genuine, like, there's no, like, anti-hero or anything to him. I mean, he's heading in that way, but, like, he's still, like, so good-natured. Like, we have that whole arc with him when, like, with the elderly couple. And he hitchhikes with them. And then he goes off. He's like, I'll go get help. And the guy is like, he's not coming back. And then like hours later, as the sun's setting, he's walking back with like this container of gas. Like he did it. And it turns out like the elderly man is a former police inspector or like detective who knew the whole time. Like he's like, I saw his poster. He's a wanted man. But I know that he's innocent. I'm like the greatest judge of character. And that is a perfect man. He is a perfect man and he didn't hurt a soul. We have that kind of shit. And then we have like it's the one where he's in the forest. This is near the end of, is it the final volume of like the guy, the Nazi who, he's telling a story. He's telling it in the third person like it's not him at first. It's like, yeah, there was a boy that used to come in these woods and all the birds would land on his shoulders and arms. And then he went and did Nazi shit. And then he came back and the birds don't come around anymore. And then a bird fucking lands on Tenma. It's like, it's a little much. It's a little much at times. But okay. It is kind of sweet, but it's very Snow White.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
It might be a bumpy ride. Jay, how you doing? Welcome in. I liked all the extra time we spent with his ex, these volumes. Man, honestly, like, yeah. Her arc is maybe the most interesting thing in the manga. How do y'all feel about it? Like, I never know where the fuck she's going next. And it's very entertaining to just roll with her. Like, goddamn, is she gonna wake up in an alley and so chaotic? She's your favorite character? Dude, do you think Eva and Tenma get back together at the end? She's so unlikable, but so good to read. What do you think? Do they end up together? I kind of want them to. I feel like she's on a journey. Please, no. Nah, look, she's gonna grow from this, and she's gonna... No. Yeah, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. What's been going on? What have you been playing? Yeah, he's Snow White. He's Snow White. He's Yukishiro. Also quite tickled that he had time to buy and read newspapers every day while on the run. I was pleased to see her again, even though she's so annoying. I liked seeing her fleshed out a bit. Yeah, she's crazy. Now, with how the author is making out Tenma to be basically god levels of nice, I don't know if he can. She needs to find a therapist. Maybe she does. That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of volumes left. Like, what if she, like... Look, he saves her. Is that where we leave her? Do we see her after that? When she shows up at the house where, like, Tenma is, he had just operated on the gangster, right? I really like those scenes. Where they're dining together, and he's just like, man, I lost my family. I betrayed everyone. I pursued money relentlessly. I ended up with nothing. And all I ever really wanted was this. Just people you love to have a meal with. Sit outside at a table with the people you care about. It's like, this is really what it was all about. Why did I chase after everything else and I ended up with nothing? And you have that scene, and then after Eva gets shot, it's another, like, abrupt, like, jump forward in time, like the death of, Richard? Where we're just like, oh, we're later now, and she's awake, and Tenma's gone, and we have, like, a very similarly composed panel of them just, like, sitting at that same table under the trees, and there's this really nice repetition in the images. And there's, like, a lot of poignancy and kind of somberness in that scene. I liked it. So running Mouse PI, hell yeah. And playing Mini Shoot Adventures. How do you like that? I was curious about that one. Monster Manga is great. I really enjoyed these last few volumes. They're good. Well, true, maybe we get a full-on redemption arc for her, and she becomes best girl. I feel like, isn't that what you want in a couple? They're gonna balance each other out. Like, he's perfect. He's bringing stability and love and maturity and professionalism, and she's bringing somebody who needs all those things, and that's her contribution to the relationship. And it's It's a match made in heaven, you know. She's recuperating in a wheelchair, but like, guys, there's still the body of the lone bodyguard at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, who's picking that up? She's gonna protect the two infirm people now? Right. Well, I guess nobody wants them, though. You started watching Free Run? Oh, hell yeah. How do you feel about it? How far are you? The visual parallels were so good. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, might have differing thoughts on different aspects of the story, but the one thing that comes up again is just like how good Urasawa is at like visually telling a story. Incredible art. I love I talk about it every time, just like the more cartoony and expressive character designs and like facial style of art, like more simplistic and more just like a direct kind of vehicle for like emotion and like character attributes, and then highly detailed backgrounds that are like very well done, very expressive and moody, atmospheric, and like textured, and it really lets you use these characters like as a vehicle to like focalize through, because there's less like detail distancing you as the reader, as the viewer, from the characters themselves. You can put more of yourself into them because there's less there visually and in terms of like mark making in line, but then you're in this fully realized world, so it's very immersive. It's great. Already best girl? She might be, honestly. Equipixel and I agree, and we get these things right. This is why we appreciate Final Fantasy VIII. We know. We want to fix her, and we can. I think we can fix her, Echo. I think we can do it. Healing She has a DPS. Minishoot is like old school Zelda. I recommend it. Yeah, actually, I own it. I bought it, and I thought I would get to it the year it came out, and then I didn't. It's been sitting there ever since. I need to do that. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. It looks super cool. It took me so long to get into Free Run because Depresso Espresso. After episode 5, it got so good I couldn't stop. Really? Wow. I mean, I guess I understand, but those first few episodes of Free Run like hooked me like no show has hooked me in years. Like, I still look back on like the way that series begins as like one of my favorite aspects of like how just like imbued with emotion the first few were. Like, it brought me to tears. Like the first arc of that show. Like, it was so beautiful. But also it's heavy. My friends and I did a session to color a Free Run coloring book last month, and it was fun. Oh, that does sound fun. Any favorite things to color? I think I'm on episode 5 or 6. Cool. Where's the tank? Yeah, the expressions of the characters are so good. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Eva and there was the one like co-worker of Tenma in the first volume. He came back briefly in one of these volumes. But like her, like especially the way like the perspective, like the angles on her a lot of the time where we're like looking down like at her from like maybe above her forehead. So we get her at these like kind of unflattering angles that really emphasize like her fucking crazy like arched eyebrows and like scowl. And she, you know, whether she's like conniving or like screaming at someone or just like drunk, yeah, it's just like it emphasizes all of those things visually. Some of us didn't watch Free Run, so it was a blind coloring test for them. It was funny. We played the anime in the background to help them. Oh, cool. That sounds like a fun group activity. I just thought it was eyebrow style at the time. So I hooked some crazy eyebrows to my head, which was the style at the time. Yeah, she's great. I mean, like, it's a great cast of characters. Like, I think our two protagonists are, like, the least dynamic. So, like, Tenma and Nina, you know? Nina's badass, which she shows off a little bit in this volume. But, like, they're just a lot flatter in comparison to, like, the very dynamic personalities that surround them. Even, like, when you see Nina up against Lotte Frank, like, the the one girl that's like crushing on Carl Newman and is like helping him like investigate the other university student. Like you just look at the both of them and like, yeah, Frank is more interesting to follow as a character. Like there's more to her than Nina. At least it was before the no eyebrow look. Yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on Monster? Never got how that took off, or why girls didn't just shave them instead of plucking. I don't know. It's hard for me to envision like any routine that requires like much additional time or energy. Like there's a reason I have a beard, because I don't want to shave. That's the only reason. There's a reason I don't put anything in my hair. I don't want to have to worry. Like I just don't want to do anything. I just want to just wake up and go. So any style, having any style is kind of an alien concept to me. The idea of a personal style. What is that like? Not gonna lie, I was a bit hurt when Real Son changes his mind so quickly on his foster parents. Yeah. You're my real parents. There's nobody else. Oh, wait, my dad was hiding in the closet, dropping some eaves on me? Dad! Fuck the foster parents. You're my real father. It just never looks back. We have to believe. Do we believe? He's making it work with all of them. Like, he's splitting his time. But actually, he just, like... a lot of Frank. She's crushing on him. She wants to go to the dance. He's like, nah, I gotta hang out with my dad.
Yeah, I know. I gotta believe.
We gotta believe, but maybe we don't believe. He doesn't even go to the dance with the girl that likes him. She's super cool. He's like, nah, I gotta hang out with my dad, who, until 2 days ago, was a massive asshole. But then I read him a story that was so good he cried. Now we're cool. I've cut myself shaving before and it hurt like a motherfucker. Oh, that's probably the answer then. Yeah. Plucking also sucks because potential ingrown hairs. Yeah. Some of my friends worry about saggy eyelids. Oh, wait, what? Does plucking your eyebrows over time potentially give you saggy eyelids? What's the story here? I've never heard this. Kind of walked into it, kind of did. Lotte can do much better. Yeah, she can. But not with the guy that gives her attention. Well, he's paid to do that, but that guy sucks. Really? I've been plucking my eyebrows since I was 12 and I've never had any sag. It will do damage to your muscles and a lot of it won't even grow back. I guess that makes sense. If you're like pulling out the follicles. I had never thought about the saggy part. I am like to the growing back point. Like that part doesn't really surprise me, but they worry about it. I don't know if it's true, but if you pluck, the skin pulls too. So they worry about getting saggy eyelids after a long time of plucking. Oh, man. Never thought about that. My solution is to have bangs that cover my eyebrows. There you go. I think those are all my thoughts on Monster. Just a fun ride. I've really been enjoying it. Particularly like, I don't know. I thought that Volume 5 was really good. Like, I was really into, like, the interviews between Dr. Gillen and Jurgens. Like, those were some really cool scenes. Oh, man. And when he finally, like, borrows the pen and just, like, oh, he just shoves the pen through his ear into his brain. This is fucking brutal, man. And everything with Michael. the former cop, the corrupt cop, who we catch up with and who has a little redemption arc. That was a very good story. Tenma, like training with the sniper rifle, fending off Roberto at the house in the woods, like that was a badass scene. Saving Wilford Brimley. Lunga, like getting a break from Detective Lunga and then him coming back was cool too. Like I feel like if we had an unrelenting, like just another volume of him doing the same shit, like it might get tiresome, but we had a couple volumes where we really didn't see him, like after he got stabbed. But now he's back on the trail. I'm looking forward to seeing the climax in the library. Oh, yeah, it ends very abruptly, right? I went to flip to the next page, like, wait, what? Because he's just like, he climbs up on top of the bookshelf in the library. He's like, all right, here we go. See you next time. Good reading this month for sure. Roberto sucks. Fuck Roberto. Dude, that guy just won't quit. Admire the balls of the fake mother prostitute. Rest in peace, woman. Yeah, she had so many names. What was the other one? Sophie? Sophie Blue? Blue Sophie? I don't know if I'm at all right on this. Do you remember? Blue Sophie? Something like that, yeah? Did I have that right? Yeah. Red herringbone? I do like when he's asking around with the other prostitutes about that. Like, do you know where she is? The girl's just like, oh, you're into that, huh? You're into that type, huh? Also, the detective in the hospital, the nurse was like, he's smiling and happy. The nurse. I'm trying to, which scene is this? Oh, wait. Oh, is it the end of volume 5 when he's like squeezing a little stress ball? And he's like, this is the most fun I've had in years. After he gets stabbed. Yeah. It took me a second to like place where we're talking about. Yeah, that was awesome. The final panel, like we get like his expression. Actually, I think I put that in the Discord server, right? That page. Or did I? Yeah, I did. It's another one, like he does this a lot with certain characters. Like we're looking down at them from like just slightly above the eye line, sometimes more than slightly. It's that final panel of him in bed. We're like looking down like at above his forehead, so it just emphasizes like the arc, like the angularness of his eyebrows, and like his eyes become more like slit-like, and then like the smirk curling up on either side of the nose. Yeah, that's a good panel. And I hope Obsessive BKA, guys, gets out of his delulu. He's actively hurting the mission to find the truth. Yeah, seeing him, like, force the journalist, like, you're going to tell this story, you're going to run this. And he's like, it's not the truth. Like, you're going to say that it is. Like, this dude. I do like that when they take these, like, law enforcement characters and, like, make them also, like, a morally complex at the very least, or like ambiguous, or just like often like just downright like despicable character that like they sacrifice all moral standing for the pursuit of achieving the goal, to the extent that like they're no longer even pursuing justice. Like he's got to know that Tenma's innocent, right? Like he's got enough evidence to realize, but he's like fixated on like proving his point and not being wrong. Now it's like an ego thing. It's the pursuit of like protecting his own ego. Imagine being a journalist and thinking your job is about telling the truth. Everyone has their own agenda. This is true. Yeah, that's about 2 hours. Definitely Vampire Hunter D ran a little longer, so we can hang out longer. We do have some ads kicking off in like 2 minutes. I don't have any snoozes. Twitch has been doing that recently. I just show up and they're just like, no, you don't have any snoozes. You didn't stream for a few days. You still don't have any. This was written in the 80s. When was this written? Because I forgot. December 1994 to December 2001 is when it was running. I probably shouldn't. I did this last time. I just started reading the plot for Vampire Hunter D. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? I was trying to give everyone like a setup, like the back of the box, back of the book. It's like, no, I'm reading the plot. Fuck off. Stop. It's way too late to think that journalism is the fourth estate. But it's set. Actually, because it's right after the fall of the Berlin Wall, but like, how long after? Do we know? Do we remember? I'm trying to think like now, what is the sense we're getting for like how much time has transpired? Before the detective was right the whole time somehow and everything was unreliable narrated. So right after it was that spring, I think. Okay, so yeah, it's, we say like, I know it's not that far in the past, but I wasn't sure like, has it been like a year? Has it been a couple years? It's like, is it kind of being written contemporarily? All the ads are here. I'm gonna take a quick break because it's been a couple hours. I'll be right back. Some of you are in ads, so I'll make a message here. But let's spin the wheel, and then we'll play some video games. So yeah, anyone who's hearing this, think about what book you want to suggest for this for next month, and we will spin it when I get back. In just a minute. Remember that everyone gets one, so you can add a point to any book on this wheel, or you can add a new book. What is that? Maybe like right there. One for everybody. And then 2 if you were here and contributed to Vampire Hunter D, and 3 if you contributed to all 3 discussions. So, yeah. I'll be right back, and we'll spin it. So think about what you want to suggest. See y'all in just a minute.
Those look yummy.
Thanks everybody for hanging around. I realized that I have this like royalty-free, it's what you're listening to now, coffee shop jazz playlist, which I usually play. Just some ambiance. But that ended like an hour ago. We've been listening to licensed music ever since. So this VOD will be nice and muted for most of it. We're gonna get donked at DMCA. So it goes. Star Watching, good to see you. Hi. Excuse me. How you doing? Oh, hopefully better than me. I'm fine. But unincorporated man. What is that again? Whose was this? I'm not familiar with it. Yours? That surprises me. I was looking it up. And when I saw like libertarian, premise sounds interesting. Should've done the Jizz Jazz playlist? Yeah. Well, no, I mean, that's Disney. Disney owns Jizz. Star Wars. It's what jazz is called in Star Wars. If you didn't know. I'm not just saying that. It's more than libertarian. Like, yeah, I figured. But when I did see that, I was like, I don't know who to expect that from. I would not have thought you. Okay, yeah. Anyway, what do y'all want to read? Just I think Witcher is well represented. I'm just gonna give myself one. I don't want to flood the zone, flood the wheel with my own picks. But everyone else, like if you're in here, you probably have 3, right? You all know how much you have. Again, everybody gets 1. Let me know. If you read Vampire Hunter D as well, you get 2. And if you read Monster as well, you get 3. So, a point for everything that you did. 1 for just being cool and being here. You can have 3 different book picks. You can have 1 book pick and give 2 points to another book you like. Whatever you want to do with those 3. Does it have to be purely fiction? What are you thinking? We could just ask everybody how they feel about it. We do tend to do fiction, but you're abstaining? Yeah? Okay. Roy Disney. 2 for Vampire Hunter D, Book 2. 1 for Way of Kings. Ooh. Alright. Vampire Hunter D, Book 2. Vamp D2. Oh, wait. Whoops. Okay. But 2 for that, right? 2. What do I want? I kind of want to read the Cyberpunk 2077 novel. I was thinking about that. I was also thinking about rereading Book of the New Sun. No coincidence? I wonder if it's any good. I'm thinking about what's on here. It's either give another point to Vampire Hunter D2 for me. I really want to read The Witcher, but I feel like that's already got a very high likelihood of winning. I'd rather put my point towards something else. This sounds interesting. This is William Gibson. I'd love to read that. I've read this, but I would happily read it again. But it's not going to be my choice. Same with I Am Legend. Way of Kings. I would like to read some more Brandon Sanderson. I'm gonna put the Cyberpunk 2077 novel on there. I'm curious. Let me just make sure it's not like some massive tome, is it? 384 pages. It's substantial. I don't know, what should the cutoff be? Like, maybe something around, like, 300, 400 pages is, like, enough. If it's more than that, maybe we give it 2 months. One for D2, one for Cyberpunk? Cool. D2, The Mighty Ducks. Gordon Bombay. That's going to be confusing. I shouldn't write that, right? I'm mostly through a book called The Disappearing Spoon and Other True Tales of Madness, Love and the History of the World from the Periodic Table of Elements. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. What do y'all think? Basically the story of our planet, but told through the lenses of each element and our unique history in relation to it. Maybe what we can do, I'd like to keep it more centered around fiction most of the time, but I think Ren brought this up. It would be cool to read some classics together. Maybe we can think about, like, going forward at some point, maybe as we get more people interested and get some more books under our belt collectively. Some stuff that, like, people have been wanting to read for a while. Because we're already doing something in October where we read, like, a spooky book. Maybe we could have, like, a nonfiction month and, like, a classic month at some point. Like, this month we just, like, clear off the wheel just for the month, and then we bring it back the following month. But just, like, everyone put, like, one classic piece of literature.
I think this milk's gone bad.
Well, we could do the history of milk, sure, if that's what interests you. Or something else. Put a classic on, or put a nonfiction book on, and do that. Maybe it wasn't you. Sounds like something I'm attributing it to you. I don't remember if it was. But great idea. Let's just say it's yours. Just looked up that book and they got Jeremy Lee to voice the audiobook. That's Female V, in case you forgot. I never knew to forget it. Cool. That's interesting. I'd say 400 plus pages, possibly 2 months if everyone else would be on board. Yeah, I think that's a good... That's good. Because I think, like... Yeah. I think 400 should maybe be the cutoff. Like, really, maybe 300, but maybe if we're feeling ambitious, we can go for 4. I don't want to, like, overburden anybody. It's fine, just what I have on hand. Yeah, I don't know. Like, does anyone else have thoughts on that? I just feel like maybe I'm wrong about this. But I don't know. Is everyone more interested in reading fiction? But at some point, would you want to do like a nonfiction month, potentially? Sure, Very. Let's talk about our cheating, Rudy. Now I'm wondering which came first: Restaurant at the End of the Universe, or Doctor Who having a TARDIS disguised as a restaurant. Oh, Dan the Witcher missed again. We haven't done it yet. Good. I'm so glad you're back. What do you want to read? You get some points. Did you read Monster? You have 2, maybe 3 points. Let me know what you want to put them on. We're just taking let me be clear. I was being stupid. This is not Gordon Bombay. This is, I can't even reference the Mighty Ducks. I don't even really that wasn't even my thing as a kid. I'm not really into sports. It's Vampire Hunter D too. People have points? Yeah, including you. Everyone gets 1 book pick. You want both points in The Witcher? I can make that happen. I gave my point. I put Cyberpunk 2077. There's a Cyberpunk 2077 novel, No Coincidences, that I'm curious about. I put that on the wheel. Echo Pixel put on Vampire Hunter D 2. So we have some votes on that. And The Witcher running strong. Cool. So yeah, anyone else in here, if you're here right now, if you didn't read anything, you still get 1 point if you want to suggest a book for the wheel. The only thing I ask is that if you put a book on my wheel, please be prepared to read it with us, and please show up to the discussion. It's the only request. There's no obligation for book club. Nobody has to participate, but if you're asking others to take on an obligation to read your book, I would just ask that you join us in that. And always willing to work with people to make the schedule work for them. A book for the week? Well, for the month. We'll discuss it at the end of July. And actually, it'll be the beginning of August, I think. End of July, I'm going to be at Fuji Rock. So I will not be here that weekend. So maybe we can do it the weekend after. I'll figure it out. I'll let y'all know. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll have a month to read it. And we'll be reading Monster as well. The manga. Continuing that. Which I need to check how many more volumes. So yeah, last call. Stalwart Teen or anybody else. I want to get it spinning. So people can head out if they're waiting on me to ramble. Still feel bad for Crimson City. This is how disinterested in the book you were. It's Crescent City. No worries. I'm not trying to call you out. It wasn't just you. That's how, no, it's fair. That's how uninteresting that fucking book is. A few people have done this. Like, they asked for a book and then they just didn't show up or they didn't read it. It happens. It's fine. But it is just my request that I hope people can honor. But I'm not trying to, like, do a slight by saying that. But it is, I just want to reiterate the expectation, like the rule. I don't feel qualified to put a point in any, since I'm not really going to be a part of it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you for not doing that. Like, there's sometimes I want to include everybody, and then some people come by sometimes, and just like, yeah, throw this book on. And it's like, okay. I've never really, like, you've been in my stream, like, twice ever. Are you going to read this? And I just never see them again, and I just quietly take their book off the wheel. Like, yeah, were you gonna? I don't know. Like, I want to, like, allow people to participate, but, like, do you just want a bunch of people to read a book that you like? Thank you for the recommendation, but this is for people to, like, participate in. I like to see the trail end of this usually. Yeah. All right, so let's spin it. What are we getting? Oh! Damn. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. The literal peripheral. Was this your? No, wait. Oh, this is Subclose, right? By William Gibson. Here's what I'll do. I'll reach out to Subclo. And I'll see if she still wants to read it. Just to make sure. It's been a little while since Subclo's come into a book club. And how do we feel about this? Is this fair? In the event that the answer is no, we do The Witcher, because it was like right there on the cusp. I don't know, is that fair? Or should I spin it again? Try to participate as much as I can. Just have struggles with reading again, so I appreciate everyone being patient with me. You really don't need to apologize. That's what I mean, like, it's not an obligation. Like, I want it to be something that, like, if you have time on a certain month and want to participate, go for it. Otherwise, like, feel no need. I appreciate that people want to be a part of it, though. Like, and I definitely want, like, I encourage that. I love that. But no expectations. Anyway, do y'all like that plan? Or should I spin it again? What do y'all think? What's ethical? Just in the event that, because when I haven't heard from anybody in terms of like book club for a while, I haven't been removing their books if they're like, it's a tough call. Yeah. What would we have gotten if we were to spin it again? Will this like, I don't know, solidify? Oops, so we're in detail. Now this just confuses the situation. I don't know what we're doing. I guess read the peripheral. I will reach out to Subclo though, just to make sure. I mean, I'm happy reading this. Oh, it's 486 pages. It's kind of long. Is that a 2-monther? What should we do? William Gibson can be kind of dense too. Neuromancer was it's dense. It's kind of a tough read, honestly. Can we read Uzumaki? I just got the physical edition. Did you really? Oh, that's exciting. What I'm thinking is if we finish Monster by October, we can read a spooky manga for October. And if you want to do Uzumaki, like I was gonna just take votes. Everyone suggest a spooky manga. I would be happy to talk Uzumaki. It's a masterpiece. It's maybe my favorite Junji Ito in terms of like long form stories. Like it's just that or like Black Paradox. Both real good. Could do the Deriferal. Read one chapter of each every other day until the storylines collide at some point. I wonder how much overlap there will be with like the it's not really cyberpunk, but like the kind of dystopian technological side of Vampire Hunter D's world, and then whatever nightmarish cyberpunk reality William Gibson has cooked up over in the peripheral. Okay. Here's the plan. It's a long book. I can't make it to the end of July anyway.
Howdy, stranger.
So we'll push back book club a little bit. How long is The Witcher? Pages, but it's split up. Like, this is another one that's like short stories, right? Could take one of my points and put it in The Witcher and say Witcher 1. It's like I've been trying to read The Witcher for so long, you know? It's been on this wheel for so long. It's a whole year ago that we read the first Witcher book, and I thought we'd just keep rolling through them, and just like the luck is like not on the Witcher side. I got an idea here. Tell me what you think about this. Peripheral's kind of long. I can't make it to the end of July anyway. We'll do a book club meeting like early August, right? But then that only leaves a few weeks left until the next book club. But because Sword of Destiny is short stories, we could read a few Sword of Destiny stories, maybe like half the book, and talk about those, like split it up and read the other half like the following month, maybe make up for it with more Monster. I don't know, what do you think about this? And just like break it up a little bit and maybe focus in on a few tales. Like that would be fun, because like when we discussed the first Witcher book, it was kind of like we were jumping around a lot because there were all these different stories we wanted to talk about. You like that idea? I can make an executive decision here. We could do that. Could do a time on wheels or spin, whichever hits earlier. But good Hunter, good to see you. You like the monster anime? I gotta check it out. I think I want to watch that, and I want to rewatch Vampire Hunter D. Now that we've read the books. Does that seem fair? People like that idea. So Peripheral, then some Witcher for the shorter August month, and then Monster. So right now we are on 8 out of 18. Okay. So if we read roughly like thinking like 3 volumes each month, we could make it, we could be cleared up for October. So maybe do that. But that doesn't line up with the perfect edition, right?
Which way now?
Yeah, I know, I'm all over the place. Are you putting in The Witcher even if it didn't win? Shh, don't tell anybody. Look, I accidentally played licensed music over most of this stream because my royalty-free jazz coffee shop playlist ran out, and YouTube sent me into the licensed zone. So much of this is going to be silent. If you don't tell anybody, it's a secret stream. Shh. Let's read The Peripheral, and then next month, or for August, when we have a shorter month, we'll read some Witcher. A few stories, a few tales for a shorter month. I got to make an executive decision. I got to go to a concert. I can't make it to the book club. What do I do with a shorter time turnaround in August? Well, I got a plan for that. Let's do that. And we'll read some Monster. I'll figure out the details. Let's say like 2 to 3 Monster volumes for July. Maybe I should keep it at the perfect editions just to like line up where like whatever edition you're reading, like it's a nice end point. And maybe lighter on Monster this month, heavier on Monster for August, since we're reading just a few Witcher tales. And then September we'll figure it out. Maybe read the rest of The Witcher. I don't know. Maybe we could read the rest of The Witcher, and if that's too short, we could... I'll get some ideas. Do some like pre-spooky stuff. September is spooky month, by the way, on this channel. Honestly, August is too, but we're gonna do spooky stuff probably. Okay, cool. Well, yes, that's that, I think. So I'll get some details out in the Discord server. Thank you everyone who read the book. 3 months of spook. Yeah, last year I started August playing Silent Hill. Just rolled right through. Starts in August and goes through November, honestly. Can't wait. Thanks for coming. As always, I appreciate you, Fishy. Thank you. You rule. Always here. Always reading. Always participating. MVP. Gold star. Top student. I don't play favorites, but I do recognize the top student. It's rated Fishy. It's bedtime, but it was cool hanging and listening to that sweet radio voice and jazz. Thanks so much for hanging out. It was great having you. That's like 3 games for you. I'll have you know I played Silent Hill 2 Remake, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4, Silent Hill Homecoming, and Silent Hill Downpour. I don't remember how long that took. Maybe 2 months. Don't forget to reformat your chat. Thank you. Yes. Try to see if I can read The Peripheral too. Sounds good. Yeah, I will reach out to Subclo just to let her know. If anything changes, I will let you all know in the Discord server. But for now, that's the plan. We just forge ahead. Because, I mean, I do like William Gibson. I'd love to read some more. Cool. Video games? Thanks for coming to book club. Thank you so much. I really appreciate having you. Thanks for sharing all your thoughts, hanging out. It was a long one today. It's 2.5 hours in. But I feel like we had some good discussions. Celeste? Talking about finishing games. What do you say we finish this one?